Cattell's approach to personality traits. Cattell deemed traits as relatively permanent reaction tendencies that are the basic structural units of the personality. Personality is that which permits a prediction of what a person will do in a given situation. According to Cattell, traits and types are not fundamentally different, but rather opposite extremes of the same statistical measures. He classified traits in several ways. Common traits. A common trait is one that is possessed by everyone to some degree. Intelligence, extroversion, and gregariousness are examples of common traits. Everyone has these traits, but some people have them to a greater extent than others. Unique traits. Each of us has unique traits that distinguish us as individuals, for example, a liking for politics or an interest in baseball. Ability traits. Our skills and abilities determine how well we can work toward our goals. Intelligence is an ability trait. Temperament traits. Temperament traits describe the general style and emotional tone of our behavior, for example, how assertive, easygoing, or irritable we are. These traits affect the ways we act and react to situations. Dynamic traits. Dynamic traits are the driving forces of behavior. They define our motivations, interests, and ambitions. Surface traits. Surface traits are personality characteristics that correlate with one another but do not constitute a factor because they are not determined by a single source. For example, several behavioral elements such as anxiety, indecision, and irrational fear combine to form the surface trait labeled neuroticism. Thus, neuroticism does not derive from a single source. Because surface traits are composed of several elements, they are less stable and permanent and therefore less important in describing personality. Source traits. It is single, stable, permanent elements of our behavior. Each source trait gives rise to some aspect of behavior. Source traits are those individual factors derived from factor analysis that combine to account for surface traits. Constitutional traits. Constitutional traits originate in biological conditions but are not necessarily innate. For example, alcohol intake can lead to behaviors such as carelessness, talkativeness, and slurred speech. Factor analysis would indicate that these characteristics are source traits. Environmental mold traits. Traits that have environmental origins, such as the behaviors that result from the influence of our friends, work environment, or neighborhood. A career military officer shows a different pattern of behavior from a jazz musician.